Let's take a look at some good old Valorant, though, because we're right on into map number 2. It's Haven, and Team Liquid are going to be kicking things off on the defense. They lost map 1, which was their map pick, and now as they come onto Haven, Loud will look to close this out. Looking at a C play to start things off, but a lot of control coming in for Loud, having their turret on mid, having Sassy watching for the A long push. I don't know that they'll necessarily come with the same pace we've seen from them before, and in fact I hope they don't, because look at Team Liquid, 3 players stacked up on C. They seem to have a very good idea that this is what Loud would like to do in Pistol.
Oh, that's going to be so much information. Spotting almost the entirety of the team, but they're going to try and execute off this, clearing some of the closer angles, and Yumpy's still just going to sit back to flash through. Saltcast already manages to pick up a couple. We talk about comfort for this man. This was the agent. He always found his form. And while now, the remaining 2, their positions known, trying to make their way, continuing into this C site, but the entirety of the team are here. They should be able to get one with the shock dart, but it will not be enough. Liquid kick things off with a bang, and they will get the pistol.
And good prediction from them. I don't know whether to chalk that up to them doing their homework or maybe playing a little bit of a gamble. The early control over A, no one pushing up. Whatever it was, Team Liquid gambled on the right side. They win the pistol with what is now a very exciting conversation. Solka's playing on the Sky. Yeah. As you said, Tom, this is where he redeemed himself. There was a point where people were calling for him to be dropped from the Liquid roster, going back to First Strike. And he turned around and came from a pretty underwhelming player to one of the best Skys we had in the world in what felt like overnight. Now that he's back on this here, well, I'm excited to see what he'll be able to do.
He stuck around. I thought he was going to leave after the first shot. He missed the first one. To stick around for a couple more, all right. I see you, Navira. To be honest, I think that's what this whole comp is. Like, Yumpy's always seemingly really enjoyed or really succeeded playing on Breach. Navira on a Chamber, it's obvious, so I don't think anybody needs to talk about that. Scream's Jet in the last map looked great. I guess Link seems to be able to play anything, so I don't know if this is his favorite. I don't think we'll find out, but yeah, I think that that's what they've gone for in this map, and I like it because it's the way of life with Liquid. You'll go for some cool, interesting comps, and then you go back to the basics and they just look sick.
Another.
All right.
A headshot onto Aspis. He's going back out for more, this guy. Well, Navera's on the way towards the tour de force pretty early on, and Team Liquid are building up cash with a Prime Gaming Flawless. It's a great start to their opponent's map pick, but now the weapons get pulled out by Loud.
Yeah, the thing is, if Navera can get aggressive here, either find a pick or get himself an AWP, he's getting incredibly close to that tour de force, which we know that he can dominate with that in rounds. So there's definitely still some danger here. All the other ultimates are not even close to being online, so realistically, there's still going to have to be an awful lot for Liquid to be able to win this one. And on the other side of things, this is where we get the fall buy. But there's pieces missing, because they've only had 2 kills onto Pancada, and everyone else has gone amiss.
This man in position yet again. And of course the shot lands. It just doesn't seem to miss. With that shot connected, Navera's back to the A site with indeed just 1 orb left for a tour de force, which could be a big difference maker in this round. Yumpy does well to find one from his position. Navera's locked out though, caught behind the smoke. He pushes through, the Headhunter not doing anything for him, and without a method of escape, he is going to be dealt with. That's at least tour de force online for the next round, and a good bit of damage done. Rodwood's screen going down. This is going to be a really tough round for Link to get anything done in. Well handled by Loud in the end, and I think they've achieved the bare minimum there, especially with how poorly it starts. Losing a couple of players, they've done well to get out with 3.
Yeah, no, incredibly well. I was either thinking that they'd get away with a maximum of like 2 or maybe even lose the round just with how much success there was in the early rounds. But again, recovering well, making sure they clear all of the angles together. And again, I spoke about this earlier, seeing Sadak move away from what was basically a solid Sentinel player in his previous team of Vikings, moving over to seeing Initiator play. I'm still a little bit sad we haven't seen the KO yet today, because it's one of the most enjoyable players I think we've watched. So you spoke about the pop flashes that we saw from Jandy the other day. I think he does it better, which is a claim and a half.
And I mean, there was a conversation that we had with pretty much every player we've ran into so far. Shanji has been someone that has blown them away with the KO play. So I'm excited to see the future of that agent. I think moving more towards a kind of duelist play if more players follow suit, or maybe we'll just have Shanji dominating in that. But For now, we've got a little bit of a technical pause coming through, a little bit of a gear malfunction. The players are going to get that sorted out, and they'll be back into the game very quickly because we're not Pampot.
I don't know why you've said that. The thing is, I don't think we get as many as them, but you curse way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
To be fair, every time I've said, this will be a quick one, it has gone 10 to 15, so...
I still remember when they had one that, like, it had to be moved to the next day. So
yeah.
We've got a while before we have to compete with something like that.
We had, what, the 2 longest games in EMEA or in VCT history, but
yeah,
they had one that went 24 hours, so from start to finish.
Yeah, they win on that one.
That's a tough one.
But coming into this round, although, again, it's going to be both teams on a 4-buy, the little bit of damage will mean that, again, there's going to be a little bit of shields missing for the side of Loud. More importantly, though, Navira, even getting that 1 and dying is enough to have that tour de force. So going in the direction of A, most of the time, is going to be a high risk, because
showing up and coming into round 4 with the tour de force online if he chooses to use it, which I imagine he will. That's a pretty scary prospect, and we're going to get to see exactly what round 4 entails, because Tom, just like I told you, man, it's a quick tech pause, bro. Don't worry about it. A couple seconds and we're back into the game.
Stop talk. Play game. Here we go.
Need a drop.
Time to kick things off. Well, you can see that Loud have got their rifles to play with, but Aspis is going to have to go down to a weaker weapon. He's just bought the Spectre, and they're all caught by that stun. Navera's out here with the tour de force, looking to catch them on the crossover, and there's a free shot for him. Even more gone for, but he won't land it.
And it seemed close, but not quite there. Even still, though, the fact that he's managed to get a free opener for them, it's going to make things a little bit more difficult, because that's also flank control gone. Less being lost means that there could be aggression elsewhere on the map, and that's something that will have to consistently be in the back of the mind of the Loud players.
Sassy was about to fire a recon through. They decided instead to just clear out the angle, and a flash comes through, and here's the push. Nice space taken, and now a bit of pressure on to Navera. Evidently not! 3 kills, and the round is theirs. The tour de force being as central a piece as we suspected it might be.
Yeah, again, it's a Prime Gaming flawless coming out from Liquid, but the main thing that I think nobody really expects when you're playing against a chamber, because the majority of people will be like, okay, I've got 1 kill, now I'm going to TP out. He doesn't do that. It's 2. It's always 2 every single time. He just makes sure, okay, I've done as much as I can. And the fact is they have to focus on him still, and it gives space to other players. It's the most quasi-duelist, and for someone who was a phenomenal AWPer in previous titles, he's so good at just finding the value of a weapon that fires that quickly.
We're coming on into round number 5. Loud, weak weapons all around, and they're going to up the pace to make up for that lack of ranged weaponry. Navera's in a little bit of trouble here. He's not going to be able to push all the way through, but Scream, well, he does exactly that. He goes right on forward, updrafts above. He's repositioning like a madman. Loud just cannot find him, and with the spike now dropped on the floor, they're going to have a damn tough time getting back in here, especially with Scream popping heads like that. And Cat has got a little trick up his sleeve, though. And look, these players are low, but if Sassy especially can manage to sneak on through, now with those traps gone, he's actually gone all the way through Garage. And with a little bit of noise here from Pancata, maybe they can catch him off guard. Sassy walks right into Link, but somehow wins that duel. This is scary for Liquid.
Oh, it's scary. Just for a second, it's scary, but now it's left on to Sassy. They spotted him elsewhere. The peek back through. He's still managing to connect these shots, but thankfully, Soulcast is going to put him in the dirt. Now you have to remember, that was what, a 2 versus 5 with the spike down.
On an eco.
That shouldn't have even been close. This should have been another Prime Gaming flawless, and instead, only one player survived.
Yeah, and it looked like it was going to be, right? Scream just cleaning up those kills on B mid. Everyone else gets a little confident, goes in for the duels, and wow, well, that's a ridiculous shot in the first place, but that's actually denied from the plan too. Flipped the round entirely, so they had to make the space, but somehow Sassy managed to. I mean, 3 kills out of that Spectre, and the best part about it, Tom, all of those players, he's actually dueling. It's not like he caught Link off guard. It's not like he flanked.
They were looking at him.
He was like one-on-one dueling Vandals, Phantoms, and coming out ahead. That's pretty unbelievable.
Well, we're going to get a timeout for Loud early in this first half. I don't mind it. They're going into a bye. They've got some pretty impactful ultimates, and their youngsters have got off to a bit of a slow start, so I might just want to give them a breather. Like Aspas currently right down the bottom of the board with less, and they've been caught out by a lot of this aggression that's coming through from Liquid. So I think they're just going to try and maybe correct some of those errors and maybe even just try to avoid Nivera altogether. I know it sounds like a ridiculous thing to say, but I feel like this team is used to being able to get that control a little bit easier than what we're seeing. And the resistance that is currently there for Liquid, well, not only do they have one very competent opper, but they have a second as well. So if things start to get too out of control economically, we could even see Yumpy pick one up, and then half the map, well, 2/3 of the map will be locked down.
Yeah, things can get pretty scary for Loud. I like that they're calling this timeout because, like we discussed before, a player like Nivera already popping off, already having some insane rounds, and he's going to be very difficult to avoid because he's not a static player. He's the flex. He's moving all across the map. Even, just take a look as we check back in here. 10 seconds left. He's on his way over to pop the traps down, going to TP himself to the A site, and then I presume that's going to be some maybe short aggression coming out of him, peeking out on long like we've seen before, holding the control. But we can see that swap up. He can be on C side, he can be aggressive down mid, just like Scream is. With the Blade Storm in hand, they have been caught off guard by Liquid's pace this time.
Les is having a nightmare. No matter where he goes, he's dead within the first 20 seconds of the round. And the fact is, that adaptation from Scream was basically, oh, you're expecting my brother to push. Well, you know what? I can do it as well. Nivera, he sticks around. It's just so bold. Like, if that's an instant headshot out from Aspas, it's a space loss. But they actually correct and find him with the Hunter's Fury instead.
Did that connect just there? No, it didn't. Okay, it looked very close. Solkas could have been in trouble. Still, the retake has to be played for now for Team Liquid. They've got a Rolling Thunder to work with to potentially fight their way back in towards the side, and it looks like that's what they're setting up for right now. Rolling Thunder for the side itself. It's not going to catch anybody out towards short. This is huge for Loud. They've got the manpower still to work with. And as Team Liquid run forward, they're not expecting them to be stacked up like this, ready to take the duels, having retaken the map control after the Rolling Thunder. Well handled by Loud. Screams, making a good attempt at it. Up in the air somehow. Oh!
How does he get sassy? How does he get sassy? Oh my god.
If you can imagine the world where he hit those tags in the first place, he would have ace clutched that round. That is a Scream round and decided by a split. Like, look at this. He's so close to getting him.
Can we just delete the first bit of this? Like, I don't want to see this again, ever.
Oh, man.
But this.
And it was the right-click classic out of Aspas. It's just unbelievable. And the fact that he survives it with just some bizarre jet movement, that was something else.
A lot of ults used in that last round. Aspas is just running and gunning. He's going straight forward into the site, completely blind in the corner. He's playing with just a classic. I don't know what's gone wrong there. Les has been able to trade things out. Pacana gets another, and in fact, it's worked successfully, if anything. The distraction of his teammate, Nivera, already pushing back through. He's going to drop the spike. This will buy them time, but the lockdown could clear them out in just a matter of seconds. Solkas able to trade, but he has to fade out of there. Into that 1 versus 1, and Les is going to use the time to get a plant.
They have done so well to bring this one back. 1 versus 1 for Solkas. No idea where his opponent has gone, and the angle's being held on the left. Les tagged up and taken down. That's Team Liquid with 5. An impressive comeback into that round. I thought they'd been rolled out of that site. Like, that was going to be Loud's round, hands down. But some big plays at the last moment. I think it especially starts with Link, because he was in this corner. He got hit by the aftershock. He TP'd out. He hit in a corner full blind for like 10 seconds. Probably 4 or 5. But there was a player right in front of him, and it was Aspis running around, trying to take him down. And even full blind, he was able to get the kill. It was kind of unbelievable that he stayed alive as long as he did. And then as they tried to root him out of position, his teammates are kind of trading back and forth a little bit. Very nice.
The problem right now, though, is the hard reset. The fact that they basically had one player alive in the previous and then managed to lose this one basically in a 1 versus 1, it means that the buy that comes through sucks for Loud. Navira, even stunned up, he's going to stick around. This is such a silly position to have an operator, but because he could escape, there's really not that much risk behind it. Spotting the players early. And well, now they're starting to re-aggress onto Long as well to try and just reclaim some of that control.
There's the flash from Yumpy, getting him back out along. At this point, though, if you're Team Liquid, you know, you're seeing little contact. That's what we needed, right? A little bit of information, confirmation. Players are still outside this position. With the flash actually blinding some of the players, they get that info. Loud are going to be slowly moving their way back into the A site, but Team Liquid are more than ready for it with 3 players in position. And one of them is Nivera, still with his TP online now, holding on the back of the site. He has tanked the stun. He's been flashed. He stays in position. He's stunned up again. Here we go, and he's no-scoped. And he has no-scoped.
Of course he has. It seemed like they did everything right, but Navira, it just ruins it for them. His pistol's not been quite as good, but he'll correct it in the end. Navira with another triple. I feel like we've had many of those, and guess what? It's tour de force.
Oh, has he got it online again? What a surprise. It's actually unbelievable, the game that he's having right now.
I just love that he's completely stunned up in a corner, can't do anything. He's like, I think I'll stick around.
He's getting blinded up, stunned up. I swear he got stunned by both breaches as well, or very close to, either way. Unreal. The no-scope, the TP, and then the headhunter to close it out. He's doing it with every weapon at his disposal. And Loud investing their money. No ultimates really online for them here, none that make that much of a difference. It's the operator that they've got to be wary of yet again. That Cloudburst is going to go down in just a second. Luckily, Navera wasn't holding the right side. He would have had a kill if he was.
Yumpy's still holding in this corner, though. Like, with how they've been playing so far, it might be a surprise, but they're waiting. They've seen Navira there too many times, and even though they've spotted him elsewhere, they're not giving up that position for free.
They didn't turn from the fake flash either, and I think that feeds into the fact that they... Man, he can't keep getting away with this. It's just constant. If he had it, I swear I was going to rush the stage.
Yeah, if he connected that one, I think we would have had to check him PC, but they're going to get the plant down. A 3v3 situation. Ultimates, or at least ones that are going to be useful, are not really there at this sort of position, and Scream's on a long flank, still trying to come in from behind, but the fact is they're going to know that he's there. They've got an alarm bot available just in that corner. Smoke's going down. Still just up in heaven is Navera now. He's going to go past it using the Cloudburst. I don't know if they've actually heard this one. And because it's so late in the day, they might not be expecting him to be this far. Aspaz is going to go down. Still, though, the time is ticking, but they still haven't realized that Scream is just going to get rid of all of them.
What a devastating round for Loud if this defuse comes through, and it will. Oh man, 7 rounds for Team Liquid, and some of them have looked so good for Loud, like they've done a lot of the right things, but whether it's Navera coming up with huge kills or Scream, I mean, the silencer did its job, I guess. They had no idea that he was here. Like, the reaction just wasn't there, and I mean, for less, he's in the middle. He actually killed Link, right? So he was fighting. He did not have a choice to turn around. Omen was reloading. It was so unfortunate for Loud. But that small gap comes back to punish them, and now 7-2 they sit. This is an abysmal attack for them so far. And Tom, it doesn't get any easier. I mean, look at what they're working with.
We need to start counting the rounds to look at winning with one player.
Yeah,
because it's getting it's getting to the point where there's been so many clutch plays and so many of them have been going in the other direction. I think one of Loud's rounds is also only with one player alive as well. So yeah, it was the dancing round where Scream doesn't quite manage to get the kill. So
where Scream doesn't manage to ace.
But the thing is, because of that, they're the ones getting reset every single time. If they were winning a couple of these rounds, they'd have so much in terms of economy. Where are you going? just jumped straight into the entirety of the team. Scream while Blind manages to get one, but they're trading things out relatively well.
Oh my, well this round is just ludicrous. You can see that Liquid are confident, they're dueling, fighting constantly. Sassy pulls it to the 1v1.
One player!
Trades it out, and yep, that's another one on the tally, isn't it? It's actually unbelievable that they have this much confidence. Let me start with that, because Loud didn't have a lot, right? We said it coming in, they got their Bulldog, and other than that, it was playing around pistols. And for Yuppie, it's like, oh, there's like 3, maybe 4 garage. I'm gonna jump in there. I'm gonna jump in and see. You want to flash? No.
So, Recon going out. It's like, but wait a minute, we're not playing Sova. It's like, I am the Recon.
that was pretty wild out of him, but you know, sometimes you're feeling it, and I guess he wanted some frags. Oh, I've seen this from Scream before. I've seen it many times. Cloudburst gonna block out the turret. He's on his way through the window. Surely they're aware of it, though. Yeah, they're holding it. Les is ready for him to come around the corner. He was. Timing is gonna be key here for Scream. He's being spotted, but it doesn't matter.
He's cursed. Les is the most cursed player in the game. He's getting battled every single round. Nice trade from Pancada, though. They've managed to get themselves into the site. And also, they're going to hold back anybody from rotating in. So an afterplant looking likely, although Solkas actually gets the kill onto Sadak.
Through the smoke, just blind firing, and Sadak goes down. That's a huge kill. And look at Team Liquid's response. They get the frag. They know now they don't need to rush forward. They don't need to panic. Instead, they're going to do what won them the last round, which is send Scream behind. But even worse for Loud is that he has Solkas backing him up with a flash online and ready. And this is perfect because look who's out here, ready for the Hunter's Fury lineup, but not ready for the flank.
It's a little bit shaky, but yeah, they've got rid of that Hunter's Fury. That was the goal from Liquid, killing off the player behind. Now Aspas, he needs to try and get aggressive. He's managed to find one, but the trades are there. It's left all onto Pancada, and there's, again, just nothing he can do. It is going to be that defusal coming through from Liquid. These flanks have just been so hot throughout this game so far. And the main issue is, I think they're just entry fragging less every single time because they're playing these ridiculously aggressive mid-holds. He's like, I'm waiting. I know he's there. I'm dead.
That's a funny thing, because this is what you were referring to as an entry frag. The man in attacker spawn gonna kill
one enemy remaining.
Guys, I can't fall any further back. I literally have to just stand still at the beginning of the round.
Normally, that's where your teammate in ranks going, guys, stop pushing, stop peeking early. Stop peeking. It's like, I'm not peeking, bro. 9-2, and you know, it's so important that it's less going down because that's allowing for these flanks to come through. You don't have the utility to cover your back because your Sentinel's gone. He's going up again. Navera just does not stop with this aggression. Oh, he's holding the angle, and at this point, look where he's tucked, unless they use some utility, which they do. But he's still here. Of course he is. Doesn't get the shot, though, this time.
They need 2 drones. One that he shoots and the second that tags him to know that he's still there. It's just ridiculous. And now they've got the smokes to try and hold them back a little longer. They've also got Solkas still in an aggressive position. He's been having a pretty decent game so far. Now, this is a spot that they've been in multitude of times, but they're just waiting for the contact. The second Navera takes a shot, there'll be a flash.
This is a disgusting setup. Players are spotted as well. Now towards A long. They know what's going on. Solkas pops the flash just for the information. And this is where Navera should be able to take the opening contact, but he's pushed off the angle. Now has to get out of there with the TP fast. There's the flash from Solkas. Great reaction. And a double kill for him as Aspas clears out the site. That's going to leave Solkas trapped alone in the sewers, but he's not afraid. He's taking every duel. 3 kills under his belt already. The agent that he's shone on many times before. I ducked myself there during that.
Try and move out of the way. They still haven't cleared him. They need to get rid of this man before they can even attempt to go for a plant. You can see Aspas at this point is almost wondering, is it worth just trying to fight into the spawn? But they're running out of time. And now Link comes in from behind. It's just looking done. He doesn't even have time to do anything at this point, and Navera's going to close it. An incredible defensive half from Liquid. They've been popping off all the way through it. You've got the brothers going ham. You've got Solkas having one of the best performances we've seen from him in a while, Mitch. I don't know if there's anything Loud can do here.
Well, you know, I'm not going to even bother trying to figure that one out because we've got some big brains on standby.
Is it Brazilian Bala? He's got this one.
He's got this one locked down.
What are they going to do, Bala?
I think that was to you, Bala.
Yeah, that was dominant. I mean,
I don't know what they can do. There's really no answer. They're abusing the crap out of Les so often. Scream is playing so aggressive. Even that last round, he's pushing down long C. There's so many flanks over and over and over that Lau's just not dealing with, and they're not able to set up in their executes. But even in the executes, they're not finding anything.
And it's not only about that. I look at Team Liquid's composition and I'm like, oh, they have a lot of flashes, they have the Omen. There's a lot that they can do for a retake, but they're not even considering it. They're just going for the duels over and over again. What surprises me is that Loud is not, you know, taking a little bit more time to actually like set up a default and just wait a little bit. No, they choose one side and they just go for it for the rest of the round. Even if they freeze for a little bit, they say it's A, they just commit onto A. And Nivera, Solkas, I don't know.
I mean, them running at Nivera over and over again. Bala, this guy is farming right now.
Yeah, he is, and farming in positions that I really don't expect him to. He's so close up on a Cubby. Like, there's so many moments where I'm like, why is there an op there? And it's because he's playing Chamber. I mean, the first round that he popped off, I think when he had that op against the anti-eco, I'm just like, what is that from this guy? He has been so good, so consistent, a rock for Team Liquid, and a major reason why they're 10-2.
Yeah, completely. This round, every single one of them, he went for every single duel.
This
always,
position.
yeah.
What is this?
This was just ridiculous. And he gets
do we have
out.
the nose scope? The nose scope? Because
I hope we have the nose scope, because I think that summed up Kakuka, the kind of player he is.
And it's exactly, yeah.
Come on.
It's just ridiculous. This is the wall that G2 found on Haven that they couldn't literally trespass, and they just chose to go A over and over again, and Nivera is just not going to allow you to do it.
I mean, we talk about Lanimals, Bala. This guy, he's right up there.
Yeah, he absolutely is. You know, not necessarily up with the stats of Yampy, but he's still also considerably better from his online to LAN performance so far in this tournament. I think that game adds to that tally a little bit.
I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do on the attack, if they're going to be so decisive, if they're going to be extra aggressive. Of course, they don't have the Neon to maybe rush things a little bit more, but I also want to know if Lau is going to pay them with the same coin, being like, yeah, we're going to be as aggressive, or are they going to give them the space?
Yeah, I want to get back into game now. I want to see what happens in the second half. Mitch and Tom, I know there are two of you up there. Are you happy now?
Well, I don't want to say we're happy, but we're getting there. We're getting there. Certainly on the right track, as Liquid have been for the entirety of this first half. Now moving into the second, their attack will be challenged. But based on what we've seen so far, I mean, they were attacking for most of their defense.
Yeah, basically. I will say that's one of the more interesting things with Liquid in the past, is they normally play quite slow on their attack and almost wait for that entry to come through. Even back in the days where they had like Killjoy op for Yumpy, that was their style. They really relied on those opening kills coming through. So we'll see. Maybe that'll be something that affects them. And on the other side, Loud are not shying away from a little bit of aggression themselves, still looking to try and control over onto A. Nivera is just walking. He's just gone on a little stroll. Now, they've been spotted. Scream was alongside him, but they've almost baited this out so that he can just waltz into the site.
Yeah, it looks like they're ready, though. They've given it up. They're playing the retake, but do they expect him to be this close already? No, they don't. Sadik down. Big kill for Nivera with the C-side under their control. Smokes on the cross. They can get a plant down here easily. And there's even been a tag up onto Sassy. Now sitting on 71 health. Fire at his utility and see if he can catch a few players out, push Solkas out of position maybe, and they've caught him through the wall.
The thing is, the flank has gone already, and they've got such a deep plant that not being able to clear these players out is going to be so difficult. You've then got these late lurks potentially coming through as well that you have to keep an eye on, and then you're also fighting against the clock. This is not going to be an easy retake. Paranoia even used to try and slow them down, and the peak's just there from Nivera. He's just feeling it at the moment, taking aggressive positions when they don't even need it, and then Scream is there to back him up at the end. Another round on the board for Liquid, and, well, we had one caster in the first map, two in the second. They might have to bring a third one in, Mitch, because I think we're heading over to Ascent.
It certainly feels like we're going that way, doesn't it? The decider of Ascent certainly on the cards, with Liquid picking up that pistol. And I mean, for Nivera, you are seeing the value that this agent brings and why so many people have come to fear the Chamber. He can play in a position that, honestly, anyone else stands there, you're throwing. You're throwing that round. Yeah. 10 times out of 10. But for him, he swings wide, hits a shot on a gun that one-shot headshots you, and boop, he's down on long again in the same second. And it's one swift movement. You notice that with him. When he goes for these hyper-aggressive duels, like, for example, the operator on short, right, when he would get tagged by a drone and then he would stay around, it's like the shot lands, and the second that he clicks that button, he's TPing.
That's the thing. He's been sticking around a lot, but correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think he's got it wrong once in this entire map, which is nuts.
The only time that it actually punished him was when they Hunter's Furied him when he went back outside of A, because he had to put it down quickly.
That round.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So there's really not been many problems. Anytime that something breaks down on Liquid, it's like one player having a little bit of a hiccup, and the rest of the team is there to pick up the pieces.
This is a good start, though. The aggression of Aspas has found them on. Of course, this is a force, like Louder not wanting to let it go 12-2, and now he's repositioned. Doesn't have his dash. If he gets a kill, he can have it to escape, but doesn't even need it. Another kill for him in the round, and Solcash trying to get a little bit more aggressive, but doesn't really find anything. In fact, gets pinged up, so they know he's hit, and the pop flash is nigh on perfect. This time is the first time Navira didn't escape.
Finally being punished, and it was on the aggressive front. Shock dart through. That's Link tagged up even more. This is starting to feel like it's already won. Of course, 2 players left alive for Team Liquid here in the flank of Pancada is about to close the round down. There we go. The 1 HP Link left, and oh, well, they've let him go because Aspas is low as well. He was being a little cautious.
10 seconds left.
Might give him a plant. He's almost there. They're going to spray it, though. Just 1 hit needed.
All right. Well, he's found something at least. They'll hear the reload, but playing within his own smoke. If he can even take another player down, just make it a bit more costly, that would be everything. The turret isn't actually going to give him away, so he's able to just hide, but Sadak is not falling for any trickery this time. A 3rd round, an important one at that for Loud. If they're going to have any chance of bringing this one back, they at least break back early.
Well, yeah, they needed to really win the pistol, so that force by round 2 makes a hell of a lot of sense. Like you said, you don't want to let it go 12-2, 10 consecutive rounds. And when you look at Team Liquid and what they have to work with in terms of ult economy, they would just build it up, play 1 round full ults, build it up again, play a round full ults. Like, you're not winning 10 in a row.
It's like a rolling thunder Seekers. It's like, that's going to give you a sight after plant almost guaranteed.
And then Navira comes in to play the long-range post-plant on C with a tour de force. GG.
It looks like they're actually going to go for a hero rifle here. Now, Navira has been in God mode, so I can understand giving him that ability. And if he can farm up a couple of orbs, get a little bit closer. The only thing I'd argue is maybe you should give it over to Scream.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he gets 1 orb and then dies, that's the ult. If he gets 1 kill and then dies, that's the ult. So I guess they're just gambling on that.
I think the key thing as well here for Navira, he's trying to bait them out. Oh, I just got a classic here, guys.
Yeah, no, Scream. There you go. Scream's got it.
Oh, he swapped it over.
No, I mean, Scream's got the orb.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So if he dies here, he has Blade Storm, they have enough to buy in the next round.
And that's perfect. For Navira, it makes sense for him to have it as well, just on how aggressive we've already seen him be capable of playing, pushing up into sides, TPing out. Right now, he's going to be sitting in the cubby, waiting for a push, trying to catch him as they move forward.
Site. Look at this. They've got 3 players in a crossfire with a paranoia set up ready for anybody to run through this. I'd be surprised if you get anything on the Liquid side, but never mind. A good start for Scream. He actually got the Blade Storm then, and then they trade out these kills effectively. The rifle is still standing, and there's some weaponry to be had, and instead, they're actually going to opt to try and fall back in a different direction. They've spotted out Sadak, and he's going to get connected on through the wall. This is falling apart for Loud.
This is starting to get really scary with the C-side down. That plant's going to come through. They have a Marshal for post-plant, still the rifle on Navira and pretty much full health. He's going down to long to hold their flank and play that post-plant control.
Uh-oh.
But there's no plant! They just let them walk right out of Garage. A huge mistake. That pulls Navira to the side. He's got to cover them now on the way through. He catches the first! And the second as well.
It looks like he leaves before he's even got the kill. Like, how do you even react to that? 12-3. The worst thing is as well, if you're Loud, you didn't even know he had that rifle yet.
Nope.
You couldn't have known because all the other kills came through with pistols or a Marshal, and he's just been lurking on the other side. It's so beautiful to see Yumpy correct that, just knowing exactly where he would have dropped down to, and wow, Navira was just there to close as the end. Look, it's so instant.
Yeah, I think that was, he realized I can fire a couple of bullets and then I just need to get out of there. And well, it just so happened that he connected on the head with the last one. Just happier to just stay alive. That's 12-3, and that's map point on Loud's map pick. Team Liquid are absolutely rolling. Yumpy's just taken a fight down A-long with a Spectre. Hello. Goodbye. Of course he wins that.
How does he get that kill as well? Scream's still just running onto the site. They are just decimating them. Call this one done. We're moving on to map number 3 because it's down to just one man. Pancada, or Pancada even. I've forgotten his name for a second because that was just such a brutal way to close out this map for Liquid.
Oh, wow.
Navira got the kill.
You know what?
Navira got the kill.